Please, turn off the ad block, subscribe, and share. Links will be below for anyone wanting to support this channel.
Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViewsNup, and today I am going to show you how to force your Windows-based computer, if it can handle it, to download and install Windows 10. Real quick, just jumping in real quick, I did successfully use this method to actually install Windows 10, but one of the things I want to mention is I think the reason why I wasn't getting it was mostly because I have a 970 graphics card, and one of the major problems that I ran into after I did install Windows 10 through this method is that I had only one of my monitors were working, and it had a super small resolution because Windows 10 itself didn't recognize the actual 970. When I went through the device manager to update it, it recognized there was a 970 there, but it didn't say that there was any actual updates for it, or at least it couldn't find it. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind, is you might not be getting it due to something like that. However, if you do run into a situation like that, or if you just want to press through and try anyways, they may be some actual drivers that you can actually install. So say for example, the NVIDIA, they actually had a driver for Windows 10 that came out today, and that's a very important thing to note because not all companies are going to do that. And also another thing I want to mention is, as many of you do know, I do have the start bar, or at least on Windows 8 side. When I had Windows 8, it was heavily modified, so it was like Windows 7, so it's easier to deal with. And one thing I would advise, if you do have anything like that, take it off before you install Windows 10, or at least keep in mind when you do take it off, you need to restart your computer, because that may actually keep you from using the start. Now, the start was still functional, but there's other functions. I won't get into that in a later video, and I couldn't use them with that modification. I imagine modifications are going to come back. For me, not so much, but I imagine they will be developed by some people and companies, and they will be developed to use some of the new settings and features that are actually pretty nice. But for the most part, that's a huge thing you want to keep in mind, is if you got any modifications or heavy modifications software wise, or maybe your video card, sound card, whatever, that might be the thing that keeps you from getting the updates. And that's the thing that you want to keep in mind when you're doing this method. But anyways, let's go back to the actual video and see you guys later. Now, for those of you who don't know, Windows 10 is officially out. It came out today, and in fact you were able to install it, or download it at least, yesterday. So as far as that goes, why don't you currently have it? A lot of people do, but why don't you? Well, it's simply because Microsoft is releasing it in waves, and what this pretty much means is, because everybody in the world basically has a Windows computer, think about companies, think about schools, governments, and most people who have Macintoshes has Windows computers, the amount of people trying to get the download will just crash the network all entirely. It's just too many people. So in order to avoid this, they release it out in waves. They look at some random number on your computer and say, if you're between this and this number, then you get it. So if between this and this number, then your next wave. Now, as far as figuring how long of wait you have to have, or where you are in a queue, there's no way to know. So you can get it next second, you can get it, as far as I know, next week. So that's a huge thing to keep in mind, is you can literally be waiting a long time, and it can be very unfavorable to your real life, which it is with mine if I wait even tomorrow. So with this, I'm going to show you how to do a simple trick to force Windows 10 to download and then install. Once it's downloaded, it will allow you install it. It will take about a 20 to 60 minutes for the installation, possibly longer on some machines. So to do this, first things first, you're going to need to make sure that your computer can withhandle Windows 10. I will leave a link below to the Windows 10 specifications, but basically we're looking at 1 gigahertz of processor. Which, how do you know that? Well, what you need to do is you just need to go to Control Panel, go to Systems. I'll show you how to do that in a second. 1 gigabyte RAM, and that's also in Systems, in case you don't know how much you have. Chances are you got way more than 1 gig, and chances are you got more than 1 gigahertz. As far as the hard drive space, 16 gigabytes, 24, 64, chances are you got enough for that. Keep in mind it replaces the current operating system. It does need to have that minimum space in order to install, because it has to download the 2 gigabytes and then do a bunch of other stuff and compression files and stuff. But for the most part, you probably already have it, especially now with computers normally coming out with an actual terabyte drive. DirectX 9. Now, chances are you got DirectX 9 graphics card, and the display is 800 by 600. And again, chances are, and a lot of people probably ain't gonna like me saying chances are. So how do you figure out most of this stuff? Well, what you need to do is go to your Control Panel, go down to the System and Security System, and then right here it says the processor, how many gigahertz is it, how much installed RAM you have on this, and that's the biggest ones you got to worry about. The DirectX, there's a way of checking it, but for the most part, I wouldn't worry about it. As far as the screen size, unless you're using a smartphone, you pretty much don't have to worry about that. So now that you know if your stuff can handle it or not, again, that will be down below in the thing if you want to check it out any further. You need to open up Command Prompt, and to do this, you need to go to your Start and type in CMD, and then right click and go to Run as Administrator. Or if you're on Windows 8 and you don't have the start bar, then just go to search and do the same thing. So as far as that goes, don't type anything in it yet. Now, as far as the Windows Update area, open it up, go to Settings, and make sure that you have automatic updates turned on. And then just leave it hanging in the background. It doesn't need to be doing anything else. If it's currently downloading updates, then stop it if it doesn't say Windows 10 downloading Windows 10 updates. Make sure that you have a reserved copy of Windows 10. So to do this, you'll see an icon like this. Just right click it and get Windows 10. And if you're not really sure, then just wait on it for a second or two when it comes up. And on the top right or top left, you have a thing up here, and then verify confirmation, and that will allow you to reserve it if you haven't already. You have 1 year from today to reserve it. So July 29, 2016, you won't be able to get it for free anymore. So I would highly advise you, if you haven't already reserved it, go ahead and reserve it. In that way it downloads and installs or downloads at least in the background. But if you're not sure, keep in mind you got 1 year, so there should be plenty of time. And this is including if you buy a Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1 computer nowadays, as long as it's not running RT, which is pretty much the first Surface, which no one uses anymore. If you buy one of them, this will also allow you to have enough time to reserve another copy and just straight download it, and there you go. So with that, what is the next thing you need to do? Go to your Windows Explorer, and Windows Explorer is just this little thing. It's where your folders are, or at least where you find your folders. So I will leave this link down below in the description. You may have to replace the C with whatever drive. Chances are you probably didn't replace that. Almost no one does that. So basically just copy and paste this link into the address bar and go to it and delete everything within it. This is Windows 10 stuff, in fact, that's in it right now for me. But this basically makes it where your any updates that had residual, that it might have kind of updated it and just and you just didn't know about it. It makes it where it's going to update it. So it's just delete everything in there, and then the next step is we're going to go and type into the command prompt again. Make sure it's running the administrator. The following command, I'll have that link below in the description. And once you do that, what you need to do is go to your Windows updates, and one quick way to do that, if you don't already have it up, is right click this and then go to Windows Update, and it just brings up this window itself, and you should see it downloading Windows 10, checking or something, and or this, and it will take a little while to download. Now the total file size is over 2.5 gigs. So it will take a while for most people, especially people like myself that lives out in the middle of nowhere. But as far as that goes, the actual installation process should kick in very shortly after. And basically that's been reported to be about a 30 minutes. Some people report 2 hours. So I'm going to say expect about half a day. The chances are it's probably going to be like 30 minutes to 2 hours, but I don't know your computer, and go from there. So as far as that goes, now if the thing does kick back, say your system is not doesn't meet the requirements, then what you need to do is simply check your requirements again fully and make sure that it is, and then I'll say just try again. If that fails another time, contact Microsoft. I can't do anything about it, so there's no point in even contacting me, and I don't even know what to do after that point. So Microsoft is your best bet for that one. Now, as far as if you just bought the thing, the computer or laptop, and it was advertised to be able to be updated to Windows 10, which some of them are, if you run into that problem, just contact the person or the company that sold it to, and depending on your location, they might have to be legally obligated to actually help you out. So, as far as other problems that you may run into, this just flat out not working. I suggest try again. If it doesn't work again, then what you can do is on here is instead of just deleting everything, just move it to another folder. But for the most part, that won't hurt anything. Again, it's just residual update stuff that's pointless. Other things you can do if it doesn't work, it's restart your computer. This one, check if other programs are messing it up, check your internet status, things of that nature. There's not really much more. I will be able to help you out with that, given a little bit. However, if you do run into any problems, I still feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll try to help you out if I can. But for the most part, this is pretty much a tight-knit thing. If it works, it works, and great. If it doesn't, I'm not really sure how to get around certain things on this. So keep that one in mind, and also keep in mind if you see a thing where someone says, "Here, download this file," then you'll get Windows 10. Don't trust it. In fact, one thing I will tell you is Windows 10 is probably already on your computer, or at least portions of it. So how do you know that? Well, basically go to, again, your Explorer, and then go to the C drive, show hidden files. If you don't know how to do that, if you're on Windows 8, just go to the View tab and go to Hidden Files. This first one, that's pretty much Windows 10. Now, the reason why I reinstalled it is because what's supposed to happen is the actual thing will start installing after the thing's downloaded. And it's kind of weird that even if you're downloaded or partially downloaded, the thing doesn't finish up and just install. But that is how it is. Now, with that one in mind, is if you're seeing this, it worked. I'm not going to release this video if it didn't work. So keep that one in mind also. But as far as that goes, if you got any questions or anything, then feel free to leave them in the comment section. But if you need any more help on other computer things or hacking or gaming, then please feel free to check out my other videos. Also, feel free to check out the features on my channel, and also check out the Patreon campaign and PayPal donations. But again, this has been Craig Bennett, founder of TechViewsNope. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, share, and hope you have a great day.